Done lots of sci-fi films lately. I need to do something else, but what can I do?
My Little Pony!
What the hell have I let myself in for? My Little Pony the movie is a 2017 animated musical fantasy adventure film based on the animated TV series My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. It tells the story of Twilight, the Princess of Friendship, who after her Friendship Festival is attacked by the broken-horned unicorn Tempest Shadow. She's on the run with her friends, the main six, to get help to save the kingdom from Tempest's master, the Storm King. The film itself is set between the 7th and 8th series of the TV show, and it actually got a return of 1000% on its budget that they used to make this film. But when it actually got some quite appalling reviews. In fact, at best, it only got mixed reviews. So that's what we're going to talk about today. 10 things that can make this film better. Right, while you're here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, also hit that like button, and also hit the share button. Share it out there with all the fans of this film and on the TV show as well. Now, this film has been requested, as you saw from the intro, by my girlfriend's daughter, and I thought to myself, it's not a sci-fi film, so why the hell not? Especially as my last non-sci-fi film that I reviewed was probably one of the most popular videos I've actually done. And also, she's kindly decorated my desk. This will all be going very quickly. Lastly, there are spoilers in this film, so if you haven't seen this film, I am going to ruin it because we are going to talk about the entire film. So there's your warning. Other than that, let's crack on with today's list.
Number 10. Muzzle Changes.
So the first one on this list isn't actually my suggestion. My girlfriend's daughter actually picked this one up. I'm so proud of her. She's picking our old stuff. You never know, she might run this channel when she's older. But still, she's got a point. The character models themselves are actually slightly smaller and the eyes are actually slightly bigger. The TV show at this point has been running for 7 seasons, so all the fans of the TV show may have picked this up. Now, I will confess, I personally didn't pick this up, but she is a fan of the show, so I'm not going to dispute it. It's something that could have made this film a lot better. Kids will notice things like this.
Number 9. Unfunny Henchman.
Grubber was supposed to be a wisecracking, funny hedgehog to contrast this very straight-laced Tempest. In fact, he failed. It wasn't funny. All the times that he was there trying to be funny, it wasn't. And most of his jokes were food orientated. I personally didn't find it funny. But I actually, when I watched this film, I watched it with my girlfriend's 11-year-old daughter. She didn't laugh once at a single joke of his. Yeah, wasn't funny. Next.
Number 8. Endorsing Paparazzi.
They have a celebrity singing Pegasus called Songbird Serenade, who actually looks like Sia, and is actually played by Sia as well. I can see where they were going with that one. But in the middle of a conversation, she stops to have her photos taken by the paparazzi. Now, that's not a good thing to promote in a film like this. Most celebrities hate the paparazzi. They're always there, getting in their life. Especially when you've got Sia playing a character who is fiercely private, has nothing to do with the paparazzi, and yet they're bigging it up in this film. You're giving the wrong message in this film.
Number 7. Promoting booze.
This is a kids' film, right? Right? When it comes to booze, it's predominantly off limits, or it's for bad guys or pirates only. That's it. But not in this film. No. One of the main six comes along with her grandmother's special apple cider, which she's giving out to the rest of the main characters for free. That's not the worst part of it though. Another one of the main six is coming along and has 4 of these back to back to back. That means the main cast are getting smashed in a kids' film. What sort of a message is that giving your children?
Number 6. Dial-up jokes.
When the internet first started, we only had 56 kps modems, which also meant we couldn't actually use our phone lines even when someone was using the internet. What fun times they were. So in this film, they actually use that as a reference for a joke. Basically, Tempest is trying to talk to the Storm King, and you hear that noise while they're trying to connect. Now that would have been funny like back in the 90s, but in 2020 that's not a funny joke. In fact, in preparation for this video, I actually played the whole dial-up tune, that dial tone, that annoying thing, to my girlfriend's daughter, and she had no idea what the hell it was. It's a joke that's wasted.
Number 5. Merponies?
So this film has hippogriffs, and to hide from the Storm King, years before this film took place, they turned themselves into merponies. Now it's not that is actually the problem. The problem is these merponies actually look like seahorses. And same again, that on itself probably isn't that much of an issue, except when the main 6 turn into merponies during this film, they keep their own features, except they've got tails on them. Why is there a difference? And it gets worse. Later on in the film, when these hippogriffs turn back into hippogriffs, that's what they look like. They actually look like hippogriffs. They don't have any of these features from the seahorses. Why? It probably cost twice as much money doing that way, because if you created the hippogriffs and then just chop the end off and stuck the tails on and make it work that way, you would have saved and not spent as much money as it would have done doing this.
Number 4. Boring songs.
Personally, I'm not a huge fan of actually putting songs in every single kids film, but in this film it does actually work because there are quite a lot of songs in the TV series. But the songs in this film, they're quite boring. They don't stand out. A lot of the big animated films that you get have that one brilliant song. Look at Frozen and Let It Go. Hell, go back to American Tail and Somewhere Out There, which is a beautiful, heartbreaking song. But this film's songs are not really catchy. In fact, one of the songs is a predominantly rip-off of the Lego movies Everything Is Awesome. And that one was catchy, but their version wasn't. They should have done a lot more with these songs to make them that much catchy, just to like bring the imagination of children into it.
Number 3. Travelling when can't travel.
Coming to the climax of this film, Twilight is pony-napped, see, I know the lingo, but she's pony-napped by Tempest. And all of the friends, all the rest of the main 6, the pirates, that annoying cat, they're all together and going, we need to rescue her, we need to go and find her. And one of them actually picks up saying, how? We can't get there. And then 5 minutes later they're there. Now if this was Cinema Sins, we would actually give 100 sins just for that, because it doesn't explain it. They don't do anything. It's just like, oh, we can't get there, and then they're there. There has to be at least either not put that line in or an explanation of how they got there. One or the other. You can't do it that way. That's just wrong.
Number 2. Day changing.
The climax is here. The Storm King has returned, and he's stolen all the princess's powers. He has this staff, and the first thing he does with it is play around with the sun and moon. And it gets even worse, because he goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No, that's not how it actually works, because all he's actually doing is just moving the sun and moon back and forth, back and forth. He's not making them go round and round and round. That's how it would go. One complete day is Monday, one complete day is Tuesday, one complete day is Wednesday. I don't think it's to do with the writers. I think it was more the animation people didn't quite get it. They were going ba 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 rather than round and round and round. That's a big flaw, and especially in a film like this. Big flaw, no.
Number 1. Underwhelming Bad Guy.
This film's primary villain was the Storm King. You saw him briefly once near the beginning. He's mentioned quite a few times throughout this film, and people are scared of him. Except for when he shows up, he's like a toddler having a temper tantrum. And he wasn't actually that good, he wasn't that funny. And one thing I like about my bad guys, which I've said before in these series, is I like to have backstory or motive through these bad guys, which Storm King didn't have. Now the other bad guy, the villain of Tempest, we had everything. We actually had a motive. We actually had a backstory. We understood why. And the best thing is, she had a redemption arc as well. It was perfect. She is a fantastic villain compared to the ultimate one. We should have rewrote this film, reworked it into a way of ignoring the Storm King and actually having Tempest overall, and still having that redemption arc and still fitting everything in. It could have worked. There are talented writers out there, but what we got was very underwhelming.
Final thoughts.
I think the biggest issue with this film, when it comes to reviewing this film, is all these critics and all these reviewers have all done the same thing, just reviewed the film for what it is from their perspective and not actually watched it from their inner child. But I'm an inner child anyway, so I found that quite easy. And if you look at it, what you've actually got is a fun, action-packed adventure film. And that's fine, that's what you want for its target audience, and it was good. One thing I'm so glad they actually did was they kept predominantly the majority of the stuff from the TV series onto this film. And that's including the voice actors as well as the directors and the writers. So many people carried over. Now there are some issues with the animation, but I think that was because they've changed their animation. They were using one software for the TV series and they use another software for the actual film. And there are a couple of shortcuts they've done which I'm not overly appreciative of. As I said, the songs, I'm normally one for good music, but as I said, the actual songs themselves are very underwhelming, as I previously said. But the actual music in between those isn't that bad, and it ties in, so it's not fantastic, but it's good. I can't really slate this film. It's not actually that bad, but it's not knock it out of the park and it's going to be a world win at the Oscars type film. But yeah. Now, I'm actually not going to rank this film, personally. I've actually asked my girlfriend's daughter to actually rank it, and she's actually given it 6 out of 10 berries. I'm inclined to 100% agree. So there's the 6 berries, as long as I put them in, because I forgot to do that last week. But yeah, it's not a bad film. It's an enjoyable film to sit down and watch with your kids, but adults are not going to enjoy it as much as other kids' films out there. But that's my opinion, or should I say our opinion on this film. What did you think? Did you enjoy this film? Did your kids enjoy this film? Let me know in the comments below and I'll reply to every single one of you. Next week, I'm delving into the world of John Carpenter in one of his films that I've never actually seen before, so I'm looking forward to that. So come back next Sunday, 6 o'clock UK time, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.